He said Ukraine is not just a neighboring country, it's an integral part of our history, culture. Modern Ukraine was entirely created by Russia, by Bolshevik communist Russia, to be
What's
exact.
taking place between Russia and the Ukraine, it's the norm. It's a common European practice to take over a different territory, extract the wealth from that territory, exploit the labor of the people that live within this territory, and expand your empire through the use of military force, military violence. That's how Europe has built the wealth that it has today, by practicing colonization on black and brown people, black and brown countries, whether it's in Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, the Middle East. This is how Europe has built and amassed the wealth that it has today. And Russia is attempting to colonize the Ukraine and continue the tradition, the European tradition of colonization, claiming that the people in the Ukraine share a common heritage, a common culture, that the people are threatened by a particular political party, and it's Russia's duty to go there and protect people that he believes are culturally, linguistically similar to Russians, right? That's the pretext, right? But in reality, he's going within this territory to appropriate it, right? And incorporate it into the Russian Empire, building the Russian Empire, expanding the Russian Empire. And he's practicing colonization against another European country, another territory that's identified as white. That's really what people can't seem to understand. And when I say people, what I mean is Euro-Americans and Europeans, whites from the West, can't understand how Russia is colonizing another white nation, right? Because colonization is normally practiced against black and brown folks, not against white folks. So the fact that Russia is utilizing one of the methods that Europeans use against black and brown folks, against other white folks that they see themselves, similar to, is what's causing chaos, right? It's what people can't seem to fathom and understand. But it's a common practice, and that's what's taking place right now in the 21st century. Colonialism is something that Europeans have practiced for the past 500 years against black and brown folks since the moment Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas in 1492 and landed in the Caribbean and started to, massacre indigenous people and extract the wealth of the territory and appropriate the land in the name of the Spanish Empire, and then all the other European empires follow suit. And apart from that, even when these, Latin American, African territories gain their independence, you have a form of neocolonialism take place and replace colonialism, where, territories aren't directly controlled through military force, but, implicitly controlled through political and economic force. And I don't hear any uproar about that. I don't hear any of the Western powers, talk about how evil that is, because there's no other way to put that. And we need to get there, right? Of course, colonialism, brute colonialism, we shouldn't practice that, but neocolonialism, we need to stop that practice as well, because that's hurting Latin American, Caribbean, African, Middle East, and Asian territories, countries, right, that become dependent on European powers and have no sovereignty or liberty or freedom, because, the wealth and the wealth of those territories, the politics of that territory, of these territories, are controlled by and manipulated by, Europeans and Euro Americans, right? So that's my take on that.